moment, a secret. Not the petty kind we share in hush-hush tones, but an unholy shared secret held by 11 people living under one roof. And then imagine all of those 11 people dying together. Tonight's story is just about that. Welcome to Welted Marigold, where we share dark and mysterious stories from South Asia and beyond. I'm your storyteller Ambika, and tonight's story is about the Burari Deaths. New Delhi, the capital city of India, a city that breeds chaos, unpredictability, and ambition. Yet, even there, in the town of Burari, life seems to run on routine. The Bhatia family, pillars of the Burari community, were the embodiment of stability, and it was their absolute adherence to routine that triggered the alarm on the morning of July 1st, 2018. At 6:30 a.m., the neighborhood elder Gurcharan Singh begins his walk. His first stop, as per his routine, is the Bhatias general store. It should have been open since it was past 6 a.m., like every day. But the shutters are down, and the sight of untouched milk packets and bread crates are evidence of a missed routine that sends a spike of dread through Gurcharan. This was not a minor delay. This was an omission. He calls their house phone. The ringing is swallowed by an unsettling silence. Then by 7 a.m., his neighborly concern boils over. He crosses the street. The main gate is open. An immediate red flag. He climbs the stairs, and the scene he finds freezes him. In the words of an officer later on site, it was a nightmare that cannot even be scripted. When the police arrived at 7:30 a.m., they weren't looking at a crime. They were looking at a macabre tableau. 10 members of the family were suspended from an iron grill in the courtyard. The matriarch, 80-year-old Narayani Devi, was found dead on the floor of an adjacent room, strangled, but with a degree of care that suggested planning, a ritual, and not a violent rage. The details are critical to understanding the depth of the horror, so I want to go through them with you. Every victim was blindfolded. Their mouths were gagged with cloth and then secured with heavy tape, a double seal of silence. Their ears were plugged with cotton balls, a complete sensory deprivation. Their hands and feet, particularly those of the children, were tied with wire and strips of bedsheet. This was precise bondage. Crucially, their feet were barely off the ground. This eliminated the instantaneous snapping death of a suicide drop. It suggested a prolonged, synchronized suffocation. The immediate conclusion was swift and utterly wrong. It must be a cult killing, a robbery gone wrong, or a mass murder staged to look like a suicide. The sheer complexity defied any simple explanation. The only witness to survive this ritualistic catastrophe, you would not be able to guess it. It was the family dog, Tommy, found feverish and chained on the terrace, but alive. To understand the story better, we must first meet the characters of the story. Narayani Devi, age 80, the matriarch of the family. Bhavnesh, her older son, age 50, and his wife, Savita, age 48. Narayani Devi's younger son, Lalit, age 45, and his wife, Tina, age 42. Narayani Devi's widowed daughter, Pratibha, age 57. Priyanka, age 33, Pratibha's daughter, who was recently engaged. Neetu, age 25, and Monu, age 23, daughters of Bhavnesh, the older son. And then there is Dhruv, age 15, and Shivam, age 15, Lalit and Tina's children. The Bhatia family had just celebrated the engagement of 33-year-old Priyanka. The boys, Dhruv and Shivam, were seen playing cricket the previous night, oblivious to their fate altogether. The family was financially secure, deeply involved in community affairs. So, where was the motive? The initial assumption was, of course, but the external evidence immediately refuted it. There were no signs of forced entry, no valuables were missing, and the family had no known deaths or rivalries. The house was not robbed, it was sealed. This forced investigators to abandon the external hunt for a killer and focus internally on the internal family system. And the question soon became from who forced them to what internal madness commanded them to. That search for a psychological cause led directly to the man at the center of it all, Lalit. Since his father's death in 2007, he had seemed broken. He had also survived a horrific incident in 2004, an attack where he was burned after being crushed under plywood, an event that may have severely traumatized him. In the years following that, his introversion turned into obsession, daily rituals, feeding animals, and an almost pathological fixation on paranormal phenomena. Relatives provided the chilling precursor. Lalit began claiming he was a conduit for his deceased father's spirit. The family, including the other adults, didn't dismiss this. They just simply accommodated it. They too believed it. They believed their father was guiding them through Lalit. If the story is gripping you, please take a moment right now to subscribe to Welted Marigold on YouTube and hit that notification bell. And to all our podcast listeners, a quick follow on your preferred podcast platform ensures you never miss these critical true crime stories. Your support fuels our investigation. Now, let's get on with the story. The investigations began, and the truth wasn't found in blood spatter or forced entry. It was found in 11 handwritten diaries and numerous notes secreted away with the family's taped up mobile phones. This wasn't a week's planning, and no, this was not even a month's planning. This was a decade long delusion. The notes spanning 11 years were a roadmap to their self destruction, allegedly channeled directly from the father through Lalit. The notes detailed elaborate rituals for achieving salvation and appeasing wandering souls. But the most terrifying discovery was the chilling proximity between the written word and the physical scene. The notes specified the blindfolding, the gags, the cotton in the ears. Every bizarre detail of the crime was described as an instruction. The ritual was explicitly to mimic the hanging of the root system of the sacred banyan tree. For context, in India, the banyan is a symbol of immortality, life, and the divine. But for the Bhatias, it was a deadly instruction manual. The final damning entry was possibly made just hours before the deaths, and it stated, "Everyone will tie their own hands. And when the ritual is over, everyone will help each other untie their hands." And so, the breakthrough. They were not intending to die at all. This wasn't a case of mass suicide, but that of an accident. They believed they were just conducting a temporary life altering ritual that required them all to experience the proximity of death, only to be miraculously saved by the father's spirit. A handwriting expert confirmed the horror. The later entries were not only written by Lalit, but also by Priyanka and Tina. This was the definitive proof of Folie à famille, a rare psychiatric disorder where a shared delusion is transmitted from one family member to others, and in this case, from Lalit to multiple others in the family. The family was not isolated from society, but they were mentally isolated within their shared, irrational belief system. The very stools the women were seen carrying on CCTV were the ones found next to the bodies, the tools of their impending tragic accident. The official verdict, following the psychological autopsy by the Central Forensic Science Laboratory, was both clear and devastating. The incident was not a mass suicide, but a ritual accident. No intent to die, only a total fatal miscalculation based on an 11-year-old delusion. Bhavnesh, the eldest son, died struggling. His loosened hand bindings suggested a desperate, final, agonizing attempt to free himself. The moment of terrible realization that their faith had betrayed them. The Burari Deaths stand as a global warning about the dark power of unexamined faith within a closed system. It is a cautionary story about the mind's vulnerability to delusion when channeled by a charismatic yet deeply unwell leader. The prosperity, the happiness, the education, none of it was a defense against the slow, creeping power of a shared lie. The tragedy concluded with the death of the family dog, Tommy, who died 21 days later from a heart attack. The last living remnant of the Bhatia family silenced and gone. The secrets of that house may be buried, but the ghost of that banyan tree remains. The Burari case belongs to a terrifying subgenre of crime, driven not by malice but by delusion. If the psychology of this case gripped you, I recommend exploring other cases of mass delusional episodes and cult suicides. Some recommendations that I have for you are the Jonestown Massacre, a chilling parallel in scale demonstrating the catastrophic obedience to the charismatic paranoid leader Jim Jones. The Heaven's Gate suicides, a clear example of a mass death pact rooted in a belief system setting their vessels to join an alien spacecraft. The Sara Scazzi, Italy, a case that, though singular, featured intense shared delusion and cover up between family members, demonstrating the psychological transmission of guilt and lies within a family unit. This marks the end of this episode. Until the next one, stay kind, stay safe.